Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you another video. All right, so this is not like my normal videos these days because I've been talking a lot about myself lately. That's not what I'm on right now. Jermaine O'Neal, the Indiana Pacers, legend from the Pacers, kind of came up during around the same year that Kevin Garnett came into the league. In fact, I had a Jermaine O'Neal, Kevin Garnett, and I don't remember who the third person was on the card, but it was like a triple card that kind of split apart. I still got that thing somewhere, but yeah, he came around during that time with the Portland Trailblazers. I think he was actually on the team that that lost to my Lakers Game 7 2000. We went on to win our first championship, and he was not long after that traded to the Pacers and had a really fantastic career. 6 All-Star appearances, which I thought was actually more than that, and 3 All-NBA appearances, and really did some big things. Known for shot blocking and on scoring and rebounding. A very, very elite center in his time. Did not win a championship. He's basically saying that he's disappointed that, the Pacers are allowing others to use his number 7, and felt like the Pacers should be retiring more of the players' jerseys that have been in their league. Now, obviously, number 31, Reggie Miller, is up, and I think they probably retired Rick Smits as well. But right now, Buddy Hield, I believe, is wearing number 7. He made it clear that he wasn't upset at Buddy Hield in any way, but he just felt like the organization should have retired his jersey and maybe a few others as well. And I've seen a lot of disrespect that he's been receiving because I don't think a lot of people really understood how good he was, or they weren't around watching his game, or weren't really aware of all that he was able to accomplish as a Pacer. And I came up during that time. That was the golden era for me, in 2000 through basically now, because I ain't never really walked away from the NBA. But I started watching back in 1994, to be honest with you. But when you get like 6 years in, you were almost only 9 years old when I first started watching the game. So by the time that he was really coming around doing with his thing, I was well into my teens, and very aware and very much like super enthralled into the NBA. And I just remember how elite he was on both sides of the floor. He was a fantastic defensive player. First of all, he blocked all kinds of shots, but he also could score like crazy, and was really a dude that seemed to be making an all-star team every single year. That's why I was surprised it was 6. I thought it was more like 8. But yeah, Jermaine O'Neal, I wanted to give my opinion because I think just that he is somebody who is very, very elite during his time as a all-star. He really did dominate in the Eastern Conference, and his teams were very good. Now, they didn't win nothing, I'm not trying to say it like that, but they didn't win championships. But I mean, I don't think the Pacers have ever won a championship in their history. I don't believe they have. So for me, I think he probably should be up. I don't know that the Pacers have many players that should be up, but I think number 7 should probably have been retired, or they should at least have honored him in some type of way, maybe embroidered his name into the floor or something. I don't know what would be appropriate, but I do kind of agree with him to an extent, because I remember his prime years, and I do remember him constantly making all-star teams every year and earning that right. And I think he started running into some injury issues and things of that nature, but I look at the comment section of some of the posts that have this going on, and people are saying he wasn't that great of a player. You wasn't all that. You weren't the other O'Neal. And no, he wasn't Shaq. Nobody was. But for those of us who were, aware, he was dominating the Eastern Conference. He was one of the best defensive players in the Eastern Conference, and could score like crazy, and could shoot the 3 too. He really had a nice jump shot, mid-range shot. He was known for it. So it's like, I think a lot of people who are commenting about Jermaine O'Neal, they weren't actually around to watch Jermaine O'Neal. They came along after that and don't know of him as what he actually was. But if you were wide awake during his prime, dude was a dominant player, a very dominant player. So that's my little take on it. I didn't want to make this a super long video. I'm not a Pacer fan by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, my team beat the Pacers in 2000. What was it, 2000, right? Yeah, we beat them in 2000 and won our first championship. And it was one of those situations where I was able to appreciate them from afar. And I thought Jermaine O'Neal was a hell of a player. Obviously he came on after that because clearly he was with the Portland Trailblazers, I've already said, in 2000. But nevertheless, after that, when he came around, I think it was around 2002, maybe he started his tenure with the Pacers. He made All-Star teams just about every year and earned his right there. So, yeah, somebody who's 39 years of age, who remembers Jermaine O'Neal's absolute prime, he just deserves a bit more respect than he's receiving in the comments. Now, I don't know if he should be retired. You know what I mean? I'm not certain. I haven't given it as much thought as probably it would need. You know, and you have to judge franchises each by their own standards. So, for example, if he were a Laker, I don't know he gets retired. You know what I mean? If he played for teams that have won a bunch of championships like the Celtics, I'm not sure. If he played his prime in those teams, I don't know. But since he was a Pacer, and basically if they have any championships, it was probably in like the ABA days. I don't even think they have one. You can't not celebrate the guys who were 6-time All-Stars and stuff like that, 3-time All-NBA, because, you know, just because they didn't win a championship. Because nobody you've ever put in uniform has ever won a championship, unless I'm mistaken. But it's not in my lifetime for certain. So it's one of those situations where it's like, all right, I think he deserves a lot more respect, and I think his point is valid, that maybe the Pacers should consider looking back there and seeing who else aside from him maybe deserves a nod, because you have had some players who've done some good things in your uniform, and as I said, nobody's ever won any championships for y'all, so that shouldn't be the standard for retiring jerseys. So I don't know if they choose to, you know, maybe they don't care nothing about that and they just say, hey, if you're not Reggie Miller, you're not the standard. But I just think it's something to be said for acknowledging a guy who really did have a fantastic prime and received quite a bit of accolades for your team in your uniform. So yeah, I think the Pacers should give that some consideration. And I also think, aside from the Pacers, I just want to see the Orlando Magic retire some jerseys, man. I don't know what's going on there. If I'm not mistaken, it is the Magic that refused to retire anyone's jersey. Not Shaq, not Penny, nobody. Tracy McGrady wore number 1. I don't even know how he ended up wearing number 1 in the first place, because that should have been retired for Penny. So the Orlando Magic is the team that I personally think needs to reconsider how they're handling their culture. But the Pacers, I never really paid any attention to them, to be honest. But now that has been brought to my attention, yeah, Jermaine O'Neal was a lot better than you guys are giving him credit for in these comments. That's for sure. He's better than that. Yeah, and I figured I'd make a video on it and acknowledge it. So that's pretty much what I got to say. My name is BDL44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.